What's up? What's up?
Andre, is it weird to be back on this side of the interview now and do touchy subjects like not get their credential denied or what happened there?
Yeah, I tried to show up as a reporter and they kicked me out, but they told me I could get in a fist fight Saturday, so I guess that works.
I guess that'll work. Frustrating time last time out, right? You were in such a great place mentally, peace and all that, and then you have a result like that. Was it hard to keep that headspace afterwards?
No, I mean, it would have been a lot cooler if Danny Gay didn't fucking hit me like that, but I love Dan, he's a great guy, and that's just the game we play. Like, that's what we do, you know? That's the risk you run. And I actually felt like, for as long as that fight lasted, I felt great. The first combination came out and landed, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have a good night. And the next thing, I was in the medical room like, oh, I didn't have a good night. Like, that's the game we play, you know? And I think the point I'm at in my career, in my life now, you don't get as high with the highs and as low with the lows anymore. You know, you realize that it's as cliche as it sounds, the journey is as important as the destination, right? The goal is still important. I want to win every fight. I want to make all the money. I want to be a household name. I want to be the biggest star that I can be. I want to take over the whole world. That's why we do this. But also, there's something to be said for staying positive and remembering how great your life is, regardless of the outcome of the last fight. Like, I'm surrounded by people who love me. I got a beautiful home. I got a better life than I probably could have dreamed of as a kid. So that's got to count for something, you know. So yeah, the last fight didn't go the way I wanted. The good thing is in MMA, people have very short memories. So when I win my fight Saturday, that's all that people will think about when they talk about me.
I love it, man. Well said. Matchup comes together. Cub Swanson is the name they give you. I mean, a legend of the game, right?
Yeah.
What was the thought when that was the name put out there?
Immediate yes. I didn't ask my coaches. I didn't talk to anybody. I got a text that said, do you want to fight Cub Swanson June 29th? I said, yes, I do. Like, instantly texted back because Cub's a legend and he's got a big name in the sport, and I think that our styles make a very exciting fight, and I can't wait to show everybody.
I was just going to ask you, that was my initial thought when this was matched up. It's like, this is going to be one hell of a crazy fight. Can you allow yourself mentally to go in that way? Like, yeah, this is probably going to be a crazy fight. When you want to go throw one punch and be done and call it a night, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only way you can fight Cub. I don't think you can really go in and fight Cub and go, oh, it's going to be nice and calm and peaceful. We're going to have a chess match, and we're going to... It's like, dude, have you ever watched that guy fight? He's a fucking psychopath. It's the only way if you got to fight fire with fire, and that gets me excited. It gets me excited to go in there and bite down on the mouthpiece and talk a little shit and throw my hands up and get back to that type of fight where you just go get in a fist fight. Yeah.
I love it. Last thing for me, I just said, big name here. This would be a big win for you. What's the goals right now? You put this one in. Is it fight frequently? Is it about fighting certain names, fighting certain styles? Like, what's the goal?
The goal is always to fight frequently. I want to make as much money as possible. I want to provide for myself and the people around me. I want to leave a legacy. Of course, I want to fight. I'll fight every 3 months if I can. Honestly, I'm in such good shape, and I love doing this. Like, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. My birthday was yesterday, and they were telling me, you know, oh, you got to spend your birthday cut weight. You're doing this or doing that. Like, there's legitimately nowhere else I'd rather be. I love this. I love this shit. So I want to fight all the time. But as far as a name or the next fight, like, I'm fighting Cub Swanson in like 3 days, man. That's my only. I'm fighting Cub Swanson at the T-Mobile Arena, June 29th. That's my only focus. Win my fight June 29th. You know, once I do that, we can talk about other opponents or whatever. But beating Cub is my only focus.
Andre, all right.
Sir, what's up, my boy? It's looking sharp. How are you?
Appreciate you. You know, I'm better. Was Cub Swanson a name that you knew you would have to fight at some point? And, you know, he's kind of near the end of his career. Were you hoping that you would get that shot before, you know, he decided to hang it up?
It wasn't like a personal thing, like I want to fight Cub, I got to beat up Cub Swanson. I got nothing but respect for Cub, but he is a name that's been on the radar, you know, and that just comes from the fact the guy's been doing this for 2 decades, and he's been close to the top of the sport for 2 decades. He's never been far out of the top 15, really, you know, since I was in high school. So, which is fucked up that I was in high school like almost 2 decades ago. That didn't feel good to say right now. I'm realizing, but nah, he's a perennial guy to watch in the sport. So yeah, I had a feeling we might fight at some point. I wasn't gunning for him, but when the opportunity presented itself, I took it immediately just because, I mean, it's gonna be fun.
You know, I have to ask, what are we reading?
Dude, I just got, I've been big on that DC. I was never a digital reader, and now I got an iPad, and I've turned into like an iPad kid. I'm like glued to my iPad because I got the DC Infinite. So shout out to them. That app is great. I just got done reading a bunch of old stuff. I'm reading Dennis O'Neill's Question, which I love. I really love. Really cool. Very 80s. Like I'm digging it a lot. And I just read randomly that 12-issue Warren Ellis is like, it's called Global Frequency. You ever read that? So cool. Each issue is just like I just like one of those things you pick up. You're like, I'll check it out. I'll read it a little bit, and then before you know it, it's been 12 issues. You're like, damn it, I want more of that.
That's a wrap. It never did again.
I'm becoming I've always kind of been an Ellis guy, but I'm becoming a bigger Ellis guy. Like he just doesn't really disappoint me very much. He really comes through a lot. Like I'll read something from him randomly, and I just find myself enjoying it all the time.
He got a little weird in modern times.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm reading stuff from like 2002, so like yeah.
Perfect time.
Yeah. Now those are the kind of questions I want, people. Talk about comic books.
Andre over here. Obviously, another big stage for your international.
Is this a comic book question?
Nah,
I'm out of here. I'm just kidding, brother.
Awesome. Obviously, big stage for you once again at the T-Mobile. We all know there's a bit of a card shuffle. So, is there a part of you that's like, man, it would have been cool to perform in front of the maybe casual eyes that come with a Conor audience, or is it just still a big platform for you and go out there and make a statement?
Oh no, I mean it's cool to fight on a Conor card, man. I got a lot of respect for Conor. Like the way I grew up, the gym I grew up in, Alpha Male, you know, Faber's always said a high tide raises all ships. So when you see someone do the things that Conor does, like I know there's a lot of people who are like jealous or envious or talk shit. Like I'm not that guy. I'm not a jealous guy. So if Conor's doing big things and I get to be on a card with him, that's huge for me, right? But I also think that the fights that got replaced are incredible fights. Like that Diego Lopez fight is gonna be sick. The main event, Yuri and Poatan is gonna be sick. So it's not like the card fell apart. The card is arguably better, you know, like we got two incredible fights. So for me, man, I'm just in the most respectful way possible. I don't give a fuck about anyone but myself. Like I'm here to put on the best show that I can put on, and it could be at the Apex, and it could be at T-Mobile, it could be in front of 10 people, it could be in front of 10,000 people. It doesn't matter. I'm here to put on a show. I'm here to enjoy the moment, and I'm here to make sure that people talk about my fight at the end of Saturday night.
Well, no, you said you only care about yourself, but you also mentioned those great replacement fights. So I wanted to ask, how do you see those two main and co-main going?
I don't know, man. I'm just, by the time those guys fight, I'll be eating pizza and chicken tenders and hopefully some tacos. I will have had a performance of the night bonus, and I'll be watching those fights the same way you guys are. Actually, maybe even easier for me because you guys still have a job to do, but my job will be done. I'll be watching those fights like a fan. So I don't know how those fights go, but I'm a big fan of Diego Lopez as a fighter. There's another kid on the card, Peyton Talbot, big fan of him. There's some young, exciting guys on the card, and it's cool to see. Yeah, I'm excited to share the card with these guys.
Last one for me. Last time I spoke to you was in December 296. I asked you about some of your favorite things outside of the cage, and you gave me an interesting response.
Yeah.
Has that list changed since?
No, the list is still the same, bro. We can go back through it if you want, but Big Booty Latinas is still right at the top of the list. The best part about that, I've said a lot of things. I try to be articulate. I try to express myself in a way that resonates with people and be genuine and true to myself. And by far, the most viral thing I've ever said is talking about butts. So I don't know what the fuck the lesson is there, but thanks for the alley-oop, I guess. Thanks, dude.
I mean, how was it? I mean, seeing all these people that may not be as big combat fans, get into you and start following your page.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that unites us all, right? Every red-blooded adult male here can agree. Like, whether we like fighting or comic books or whatever, we like big butts. Just big Latin butts. And in this time of turmoil, I think it's good to have something that unites us all.
Andre,
Yeah.
Did you hit up Dan after that extra shot he gave you?
Yeah, I said, thanks a lot, you dickhead. You didn't need to hit me like that. So I will say this, my grandma, my aunties, everybody messaged me, why did he hit you a second time? And I had to explain to them. I actually, the worst part is that Dan's such a nice fucking guy. After he hits you like that, you gotta then defend him. Because like, you know, my family was like, why did he hit you a second time? You know, and I had to explain to my family, like, that's his job. Right, like what if he hits me and doesn't follow up and maybe I come back or the ref, you know, and shout out to Jason Herzog, one of the best refs, maybe the best ref in the whole business, gave me every chance, you know. That's what we do, like that's his job. Until the ref steps in, it's his job to make sure that he wins the fight. And yeah, it'd been a lot cooler if he didn't hit me with that second shot, but that's his job, you know, and I would have had to do the same thing to him, and that's the game we play. So yeah, I talked a little shit to him, and I still do constantly. I actually was just training with him. I was training in the same room as him, and he was training with Cody No Love, and I was with another group, another partner, and he said, hey, like, anything I can do to help, you know, let me know. And I said, you know what you can do to help? Stay the fuck away from me. You can help me from 10 feet away on the other side of the room. Don't keep your hands off me. That's how you can help me. But no, Dan's a great dude, and I got nothing but love for him.
And what's the best movie you've seen so far this year?
The best movie I've seen so far this year. Oh, dude, don't put me on the spot. It's not a new movie, but I watched Brigsby Bear finally. I love that movie. And I know there's something I'm forgetting that I know as soon as we get off, I get done, it's gonna come to me, and I can't think of the movies we watched recently, but throw some at me. I know there's one I'm missing we just watched. What's your favorite movie this year?
Are you watching Dune Part 2, probably?
Dune was incredible. Dune was great. There's one more that I can't remember that I know is like right there that I really enjoyed.
Are you watching television as well? Like Boys, the Boys, or
television so far has been Invincible. It's been incredible. They did Fallout, was so good. I love Fallout 3 might be my favorite game ever. Some people are gonna say Fallout New Vegas. Shut up, the loading screens are abysmal. Fallout 3 is better. But that Fallout show is the best video game adaptation I think ever. So yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Andre, right here.
Yeah, brother.
So, Andre, do you prefer when comic book movies stay really tight to the source material, or do you like that creative license from the director?
I don't mind. I mean, good and bad with both. What I like is when the director and the people making the movie actually love the source material. Whether they stray or they stay really true to it, I think both can be done well. I think when you watch something like Invincible, or you watch like those like the middle of the generation MCU movies where it's got like perfect, you know, they really like found their stride. Like you look at Guardians of the Galaxy or Invincible or something like that, you can tell that the people who made it love the stuff they're making the movie about. And then you see some comic book adaptations that are just kind of phoned in. You see the director, like, he read like the 2 most popular comics about the subject and was like, all right, I got it, let's run it. And so I think whether you're making movies or you're writing or you're a journalist or you're a fighter, I think that you have to have a genuine love for what you're doing. And if you don't, it'll show. You can't fake the funk in anything. It'll shine through. People, when you fake it, people will see, and the results will speak for themselves. So I think, to me, the most important thing is when you're doing something creative, when you have a creative endeavor, it has to actually resonate with you first, and then the product will match that.
Do you think there's one comic book movie that translated from the page to the screen the best, like most faithfully?
That's a whole nother interview. We're gonna get in so much trouble if you start me down this road. So I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but I will say I did really like what they did with the last Batman. Pattinson really they just took like the detective angle, which I think has been severely lacking. Also, like the fight scenes were done really well. It just felt Gotham-y, you know. It felt like Gotham. It felt like you were there. It was dark. It was serious, but it didn't take itself so serious that it got like corny. Like I just thought they did a really good job. So that's my example. I think they did a really good job of being unique and staying true to the source material in that last Batman. Robert Pattinson has done like the best I've ever seen at not being typecast. Like he just did like 3 or 4 things where he was just like, no, I'm not the vampire from Twilight. I'm some crazy preacher in Devil all the time. And then he did that movie Good Time, which is like anxiety-inducing. And then he did this Batman, and it's like, shout out to that guy. I really want to make movies. If anybody's watching this, like, put me in the movies.
Thank you.